we are going to jump in. Welcome to Coffee with Kelsey. I actually have coffee today. It's the first time I've had coffee in weeks. Let's smudge this, clear this out. We're going to talk about shifting alignments. Shifting and alignment, perhaps. My last couple of days have been kind of strange, just in regards to shifting. Yesterday, especially, there was opportunity for conversation or for insights, and I'm so proud of myself, for reaching out and taking the steps to ask the questions and ask questions. I still have so many other questions to ask, and mentors are coming to mind as well. Maybe some of this has to do with the full moon. I'm just cracking up a window so we can get these goobs to go out, not hold them in and contain them in this space. We're going to do something a little classic today and start off with Rider-Waite. I do have the Wonderland Tarot here too, so we'll probably jump into Wonderland and Alice, and I picked out a book. Maybe we'll pick something out of there too. Did I grab Becoming Deviant? Okay. Big shifts happening, alignment happening. I saw something recently too about alignments or timelines overlapping, or timelines consolidating as well. So maybe now is a good time to consider what your timelines are. I've got two cards here. The cat really wants out. He's kind of driving me nuts, so we'll see if we can tolerate the meowing in the background. Alignment. Okay. And in regards to alignment, we'll just start here. Things going into direction, things coming together. This also feels like stay in your lane, right? Nothing's overlapping, and the world is here too. Right, so how we're directing these energies is going to be very important, because it's going to have implications, global implications, or just holistic implications, overall implications. So, okay, if you jump on here, feel free to ask questions. This cat keeps meowing at me. I might have to stick him in the garage for this. I'm doing my best to, again, not get distracted. Repetitive noises like beeping and things are incredibly distracting to me. So bear with me. Strength. Strength came up yesterday too. Strength in the world, strength in these directions, because as we go into these alignments and we start shifting gears, it takes a lot of strength. Hang on. No, you can't sit here meowing at me the whole time. You're not going to go in. We're not going to cry for this, Kitty. Oh. Okay. Sorry. Oh, sorry about that. Figures, huh? Crack open the door. Alright, hopefully I didn't lose you in this, because we are shifting gears and things take a lot of work to go into this. I'm just going to open this. We have a little bit of time here, but simplicity and complexity comes to mind as well. So there are a lot of dynamics when it comes to shifting gears, and it's very simple. Like, you take an action, you take a step, you do it, and then it happens. You gotta stay in your lane, and you gotta know your place. This is coming after conversations about authenticity. This is coming into place after cutting things out that are no longer serving us as well. We'll just talk here. Similarly, Bell pointed out, services performed by industrial racketeers in organizing and stabilizing previously chaotic and cutthroat industries. In this respect, Bell followed Merton. The use of latent function as an ironic device consistently points to the existence of blessings in disguise. So the irony of it all, right? Stabilizing previously chaotic aspects of it too. So chaotic aspects of the world are beginning to stabilize, or if we're going to be shifting into something, we're going to be shifting into stability. And what does stability look like? Stability looks like a lot of things to each of us, but if this is also framework and structures, we need a stable framework, we need a stable structure, right? We need stability and authenticity and stability in ourselves. But stability doesn't necessarily mean, consistency, yes. But I'm not talking about emotional stability, or are we talking about emotional stability and what emotional stability looks like? Emotions keep coming up into place too. So how are we using our emotions to direct the things that we want? We have control over our emotions. What else came to me yesterday through some of this too? Because I had some pretty deep and meaningful, very profound conversations yesterday. One centering around meditation, being able to overcome things through meditation. So developing a meditative practice, which might have something to do with this as well. But this idea of how do we express ourselves? Because oftentimes if we're maintaining this cool demeanor, the inside core is rocked. It's not stable, even though it may present itself so on the outside. And this is the irony of it all, right? Things aren't what they seem to be. So the other side of it is in that authentic emotional expression where things may seem frightening, was a word that came up yesterday, in that vulnerable space, like when those walls come down, those guards come down, and we're presented in our full vulnerable self, it can be frightening to be faced with the emotions or having to deal with emotions, whether they're your emotions or somebody else's emotions, but you can have a stable core and still have that external expression. That's going to be important because the way you maintain and understand that emotional body is going to affect the way that you're directing that energy, because emotions are energy, and the way we direct that energy is going to help us, let's say, materialize. I don't necessarily want to say manifest, but it's going to create this world and this environment that we're living in. But we're so afraid of emotions in this culture. I'm so afraid of other people's emotions or needing to control other people's emotions. And you can't do that. Like, you're not responsible for another person's emotion. Another person isn't the cause of your emotions. Although they're influential, yes. A lot of it is because it's dark, heavy stuff. It's the depressive stuff. It's the anxiety stuff that a lot of people don't want to cope with and don't want to deal with. But how we navigate those trenches are going to be very important. Right? And the frames. And framing came up yesterday too. I have a dear friend who is working on, let's just say, building structures. And building structures out of narrow poles and building furniture out of those things, and taking these materials that we don't necessarily consider important or valuable and finding ways of sustaining. And sustainability comes up here as well. That's temperance, okay? Temperance comes through this heartache, dare I say, through these difficulties and through these emotional aspects and having to face these difficult things. A lot of people mask the emotional stuff or suppress the emotional stuff with alcohol, with other substances, TV, repetition and routine. Repetition, and not doing things differently. You know, the last few readings have been about looking at how we can engage with things in a different way, or interacting with different things, different people, different situations to bring out these authentic expressions. There's that cat again. Accommodations come through. Accommodation, frugality, but management. Managing emotions, right? Managing your emotions is not the same as suppressing your emotions, okay? Managing your emotions is sitting in your emotions and understanding all of your emotions, right? Keeping yourself guarded, protected. But this emotional body is kind of important. Moderston? I feel like that's kind of a made-up word here. What did I want to look at? I want to look at the 8 wands and kind of dive into Wonderland. Because if we're going to go into the emotional depths and the emotional exploration, right, and then we're going to go down that rabbit hole. We'll see what we can pull from that. This way came out again. You can reach out for assistance. You can reach out for help. There's something about it sharing these emotions in relationships coming together, having to address how the differences of emotions, or just the complexity of emotions. Cups are emotions, right? And there's so much in this for us to have to balance and to have to navigate, right? Being able to go from one state of mind into another state of mind, or experiencing these various levels of consciousness, of these energetic modalities. Arts come up as well, artistic expression. Art is a fantastic way to tap into the emotions, whether it's music, visual, performance, gardening, ceramics, building homes. Art is more of a practice, like the art of living. That's a fantastic course to get into if you want to tap into like meditation aspects, yoga, the body, finding these safe spaces and these safe containers to explore what these emotions feel like. Maybe this is a good point too to mention detoxing. I have this ionic foot detoxer that's pretty amazing, and so if you're local and you need that level of detox, let me know. You can come here for a foot detox. I can come to you for a foot detox. But clearing out these impurities. But let's go back to staying in your lane. Okay. There's a necessity to it. And as my friend had put yesterday, I'll tweak it a bit so it fits and is relevant here. I am the universe expressing itself as Kelsey Sweet. Okay. I am the universe expressing itself as the Kelsey Sweet model. Okay, so what that means is in this lane, in this vehicle, in this meat suit, there are certain aspects, modalities, themes, things I am meant to do, you know, as for me, as for you. There's a mirror here to this world and to this concept. But how we're going to direct that emotional energy is going to be rather important. I think relationships are going to shift around big time with this one, because a lot of people don't want to have to look at those sort of things. And when you bring up emotions, or you're expressing yourself in this authentic way, people are going to have a reaction to that. They're going to respond to that. Good, bad, or indifferent. Motion through the immovable. Being able to move through the immovable. So if there's stagnancy, if there's a sense of stuckness, exploring these emotions. But then what came up in my reflections yesterday too is the importance of having persons around you who are non-judgmental. It's very difficult to share emotions or to be open emotionally with judgmental people. Their own judgments come up, things get twisted around, there's overlap, there's projection, there's not staying in the lane, right? But we're moving through that. A flight of wands through an open country. So again, getting back into nature, going into nature and feeling the air. Activity and undertakings, the path of sexual activity. Swiftness as that of an express messenger. Great haste, great hope. Speed towards an end, which promises assured felicity. That which is on the move, also the arrows of love. If you're feeling something like jealousy, internal dispute, stingings of conscience, quarrels, any of that, there's a repression, there's a suppression going on, there's a need to try and control the environment outside of you because you are not finding that or not learning how to navigate and control those internal things. If you're going down the river on a raft, like whitewater rafting, think of it like emotions. You got to steer your way through, these choppy waters. You have to be prepared. You have to have, let's just say, preparation for the experience. Again, creating that sacred space, that spiritual space to connect to something. It's an energetic thing, and when these emotions are coming up, they're trying to tell us something about our environment. They're trying to tell us something about the world. And we're not wanting to listen to that, and we're wanting to uphold these systems that are not serving us in the long run. There's like a destitute aspect, perhaps, that comes through. Emotional destitution. Emotional intelligence is coming into mind, and the importance of emotional intelligence as we move forward, because things are very difficult. And a lot of people don't have this emotional intelligence, right? They think being smart is being, what do I want to say, contented, the same, stable, having money. But that doesn't always equate to emotional intelligence, and least. And I got frustrated with somebody a couple months back because upon not seeing them for years, it was this, are you stable? I'm like, oh, fuck off. Am I stable? I'm human. There's movement in life, and, we bend and we flex, and yes. There's stability in the core. There's authenticity at the core. And because of external circumstances, or because of, hey, the devil, or all this shit stuff, it's not, we are not the things that happen to us. Bad things happen to us, but that doesn't mean that we need to be judged negatively in doing so. And it's interesting to me the way that people try to justify this. Oh, and then yesterday too, starting off in the morning, if you're expressing an authentic emotion and somebody out of the blue comes to you and says, oh, I don't have anything for you, or they kind of have this snarky attitude with you, it's like, what is that about? And in this conversation, it's the exchange of, I often wonder, so I don't have anything to give you. It's like, well, I didn't ask you for anything. I didn't ask you for anything, so why are you coming to me to tell me you don't have anything to give me? Like, and then my question to those sort of interactions is, well, what are you getting out of this? You're getting something out of it. I'm not. What feels like what they get out of it is a boost or some sort of ego boost, right? And we're not here to be stepping stones for other people to boost their egos off of, because we are being emotionally vulnerable. That's just fucked up and stupid. And in this conversation of, I wonder what the intentions are behind people, or what people are going to get out of this. There's no conversation. It was just like, the reaction was, blocked and reported. But I wasn't blocked. And what is there to report? I didn't do anything wrong, and I didn't do anything bad. All I did was make somebody feel stupid, right? Or just call somebody out on that shitty behavior, or just find this neutral ground, because people want to get into these places where they're trying to elicit this emotion from us. Oh, interesting. We'll talk about 5 swords. Okay, I've got it here in both decks. It's been sitting on top of this one. I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about it, and like just this conflict or this shifting, things being left out. But it's here too. And 5s have to do with a lot of movement and motion and change, and this point in time, or in time and space, where energy and intention come into play with the material aspects, and something is catalyzed. There's action, there's movement, it's in the body. In my numerological chart, numerology, whatever, blah, 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 I had a guy reach out to me years ago. He was like, dude, you got like 5 5s in your chart. It's kind of unheard of. That's a lot of 5s. That's a lot of change, right? That's a lot of movement and direction. So here we are. I'm very good at this. We're talking about this. We're going to guide you through this so you can see that it is possible. Okay? The demonstration. That was another word that came through. You can demonstrate this for others. And not that they're going to do it the same or have the same emotions or the same responses, but they can see, this is the key, you can experience these intense emotions and not fall apart. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to kill you, right? It's not going to be this overwhelming thing of like the end all, like anytime I've gone through these bouts of intense emotional alchemization, right? Or, whether it's an extreme joy or an extreme sadness, there's always something that shifts within, right? And we can get into that vulnerable space and we can make that internal shift. All of a sudden we have this like quantum leap forward when it comes to healing and navigating and just feeling better. Okay? This isn't to say you're going to let your emotions control you, but as the feelings come up, notice them and feel them. Like in these yogic spaces or in these kundalini spaces where you sit and you activate these different centers, it'll trigger these emotions, and these things will come up for you to heal and for you to navigate in a safe space, in a safe container. Whether it's with a therapist, I don't necessarily want to say like with friends or family. I feel like this needs to be a more sacred container, something you wouldn't normally think of doing for yourself. Maybe it's counseling, maybe it's going on some sort of shamanic retreat, maybe it's joining some sort of group or support group or something like that, or a new sport. Any of those. It will give you this opportunity in this space to process and alchemize something. When you get too close to home, when you're talking about friends or when you're talking about family, then you're talking about these long-term investments that have all these deep layers of emotions that can get very convoluted and just end up creating a lot of conflict, and then people get hurt, or then people get judgmental, or they take things too personally. And quite frankly, they probably don't have the skill sets to navigate through that. What do you have to say here for us if we go into swords, spades, flamingos? It's a battle. Ooh, excuse me. An internal battle, an emotional battle, battle of wits, battle of wills. In relationships, if you win the battle, you lose the war. In relationship dynamics, it's not about winning and losing. It's not about coming up on top, right? It's not about you're the problem, I'm the problem. That's just going to create loss for everybody. It's just going to dissolve a relationship. It's going to create conflict that's unnecessary. And so when we're talking about resolving issues and resolving conflicts and getting into alignment, right, or shifting, we're addressing the problem external from the person. It's not that you're the problem. It's not that I'm the problem. It's that there's a problem that exists. That problem needs to be addressed, and there needs to be a solution that is found. So shift the thinking, shift the stinking thinking, shift the judgments, shift the language, the words, shift the energy, okay? To get in alignment with higher purpose, higher power. Because if we're going to get into these battle of wits and battle of wills, or have to be like the competition thing again, this competition thing keeps coming up, then nothing is ever going to be resolved. It's just going to perpetuate problems, or the problem is going to be perpetuated because we're not looking at what the real issue is. I think the difficult part about this too is when we begin to make shifts, we begin to do something new, or we begin to acquire something new, and that balance is altered, or things are shifted around, it creates new enemies, new vulnerabilities, new things that you need to be aware of and be on guard over. Like, redemption can come through. I mean, this is absolutely going to be disastrous if you're not going to be able to get hold of this concept. But redemption can happen. You can overcome these conflicts. You can look back over it. You can resolve it. But it's going to take work, and it's going to take effort. Just for comparison's sake, let's look at what Rider-Waite has to say about the same card. I'm fascinated by this sort of stuff. I'd like to take a somewhat empirical approach to this divination as well. But this Five Swords, man, there's like a hoarding too. A hoarding here. If you're getting in these conflicts and in these battles just to hoard or take something away from somebody else, or to disempower somebody, I mean, that's a pretty shitty thing to do, don't you think? Or vice versa, if that's done to you. You can just turn your back to this and look to the emotional aspects, and find different ways through this. Disdainful man looks after two retreating and dejected figures. Their two swords lie upon the ground. He carries two others on his left shoulder and a third on his right, point to earth. Degradation, destruction, reversal, infamy, dishonor, loss, burial, and six fish. There might be some sort of situation here too where if in making these big shifts, some sort of relationship dynamic is coming to a head, there's going to be separation and there's going to be loss, and one that you might not ever be able to reclaim. Or maybe you will walk away from a situation creating that sort of loss for somebody else. There's like this absence makes the heart grow fonder, but sometimes we have to let people kind of figure it out on their own. Like, you can't force people to feel certain things, but I think a lot of people probably are feeling this sort of conflict or this level of conflict. We're just caught in this emotional battle within relationships. It's a pretty common theme. Why? Because we live in a culture that doesn't value emotions. You know, things are bad and scary, and so we lose out on a big part of the human experience. Right? These emotions can be gifts for us. These opportunities, these experiences, the types of energy can offer us something new. They can elevate us to new levels, right? They can help us grow and blossom into who we are meant to be. But if we're afraid to be vulnerable and afraid to be authentic, we're not going to grow. I don't know how you think you could grow. And it's not like, well, you know, something about money or money, like money, people are so invested in this money thing to distract away from this. I mean, not all. Absolutely not all. There are people who have been able to harmonize the two, right? Money is currency, that's energy as well. But bringing things to current also comes into mind in these big shifts, or bringing things into present time. So often people want to get caught up in the imaginations, or, you know, the nostalgic parts, or in this future imagination sort of thing. It's self-preservation. I think it's absolutely natural. It's not that it's wrong, but if we're going to evolve and we're going to learn to do better, then we have to make those shifts a little bit, don't you think? Let's look at what this Three of Pentacles cards is, because there's something here being offered to us again. Or some sort of lesson here that we are learning. Oh, where are you? A sculptor at his work in a monastery. Trade, skilled labor. Noun, glory. Is like, are you being petty? Is somebody being petty here? Or are we consciously sculpting and creating this? We can use that emotional experience to help shape and to help form us, right? Let's pull a couple more out of here. We can do the Alice in Wonderland Oracle too. That seems to be a nice balance. I'm going to keep it kind of short. I have maybe 15-20 minutes or so more that I can put into this today. So if you jump on and you have questions, feel free to ask. I don't know that a lot of people are ready to make big shifts. I think a lot of people are going to try and avoid those shifts and hold on to the way things are, because it's predictable, it's familiar, it feels safe, but I think it's also a false sense of safety. Our King of Oysters. I think that talks to preparation as well. And being prepared. There's something kind of ominous, I think, about some of these situations, because there have been people that have probably tried to shape you, form you, mold you into something that suits them, and that is not being authentic, so we have to shift out of that discomfort into something new. Be kind, always be kind, but also have strong boundaries. This is about courage. It takes a lot of courage to be able to go through these sort of experiences. There's something here. If this one shows up, it says, going for ends without consideration of means. So if you're looking for something or looking for some sort of result and not considering how you're going to get there, it creates danger. It creates this manipulation, and that's not what we want. We want safety. Intelligent, loyal, and successful. That loyal part, I think, is really important, because if you can't be loyal, then you're not being authentic. Loyalty is super important. And I think there's just so much about being disloyal, or the cheaters in the world. I mean, whether it's cheating in relationships or cheating in tests, or, you know, cheating in success to get ahead in the world. Again, this thing of putting other people down to try to elevate yourself. That one is pretty bizarre. Like, what is it that you're trying to get out of these situations? And why are you focused on trying to get something out of a situation by putting something down? If you can't give, why are you trying to get? Are you trying to get something because you're missing something? And you think you can just take it from somebody else? You can just take somebody's energy to make yourself feel better? And then when they don't give that energy to you, then you go into this, like, blocking out and needing to, like, punish this person for not giving you their energy, or not giving you their emotional reaction to feed you. Like, are you an energetic vampire? Like, or reverse those roles. Do you have these energetic vampires around you that are trying to trigger these reactions out of you in order to, like, siphon that energy to boost themselves? There are a lot of these types of people around, especially the more you step into your authenticity. It's like moths being drawn to a flame. Maybe it's important to make this point here too. I haven't mentioned this one in a while, or talked about it in a while, but I think it's relevant. Especially in regards to meditation. There's a lot of these guided meditations or meditative spaces where, like, call in your energy, bring your energy in, and, like, just beam yourself with this big, bright beacon of light. Now, what happens if you're this bright beacon of light, or this bright flame, you know, up on a hill far, far away? You can be spotted in the dark. People can find you very, very easily. So all these nefarious people, or nefarious beings, entities that don't have your highest intention in mind, but need that light source and need that energy to feed off of, they're going to find you, they're going to source you out, and they're going to go right to your camp. That's why in a lot of these situations where there's conflict, or there's a fire, or it's nighttime, or like an old western comes to mind, if you hear an enemy approaching, you put out your fire. But we don't want to put out our fire. We don't want to disempower ourselves. So then what is the solution? We have all these dimensional layers of reality. Say we have 7 of them. 7 seems like a good number to start with. And in these 7 dimensions, and these 7 layers of energy, we can take that light, we can take that beacon, and we can disperse ourselves. So it's not like a condensed, consolidated thing that somebody can just come along and take. okay? We're talking about expanding ourselves in that oneness. Like, this is the universe in the Kelsey Suite model, doing the things in this vehicle. So when we ironically invert that energy and we take the Kelsey Suite model and we disperse it, or we expand it into the universe, and we go through these 7-dimensional layers, and our light permeates all these different layers, one with everything, then we can't be spotted. These things can't come to us and try and take everything, right? They get absorbed by it. They're held by it. They're one with it. They are it, right? It encompasses them and everything. But it's your being, it's your expansion, right? Shifting into expansion instead of this condensed version, which again, ironic, because here we've been talking about consolidate and concentrate, which is this condensing, right? But there's the con in that. So from the inversion, or from that ironic perspective, in consolidating and concentrating, we're expanding energetically. So the material things around us become limited. They become less important. I've been watching a lot about ancient civilizations and ancient cultures, and these nomadic cultures where it's minimal. It's very much about minimalism. It's not about how much stuff you can have, right? But it's about these spiritual excursions or rites of passage, these connections to the more etheric nature above, the things in space, right? There's this connection to the moon and the sun, and there's architecture and temples and these spaces that are designed in alignment with the stars and the moon and these grander ideologies, perhaps, for lack of a better word. And the remnants of that, the residue of that, the residuals of that, they still exist. They're still here, right? They still have a function across culture. Many cultures can come to these spaces, into these sacred spaces, and engage with these other dimensional layers of beings, these other energies that are here to guide us and navigate us into this space of a whole new world, right? Isn't that what we're trying to do here? The world around us is shifting very dramatically, very drastically. The world's doing what the world does. The earth is doing what the earth does, and it is up to us to adapt to that and to go with that flow. The Fool's here for the new beginnings, the new starts, right? Being able to take these leaps of faith in this authenticity. Okay. Okay, we can do a couple more here, and we'll pull some out of the Oracle deck. I'm going to get things situated. If you have comments, if you have questions, if you're on here, you can ask. You can always reach out to me for private readings too. But again, I just get this sense or this feeling that people are afraid. They're afraid to do the work. They're afraid to take that look into this sort of a mirror where these walls come down and these shifts are, I don't want to say forced upon you, but once you see it, once it's there, once you know it, you can't deny it, right? Then you become irresponsible. You don't know what you don't know. But once you know something, you can't unknow it, and then you have to take responsibility and you have to take accountability for it. So when it comes to looking at these aspects of self that need to be shifted or evolved or changed or whatever, or these authentic versus, false illusions, people are afraid to make that shift. Why? Because the tools aren't really abundant for people to be able to navigate through that. They have to connect to something much higher, and like this is like the hand of God coming down to give you the sword of truth, right? And that sword of truth, and that truth that can be, it can be cutting, it can be painful, and it's not bad. Absolutely, it's not bad. But it puts you into this position again where you have to come out of this dream state, or you have to come out of this illusion and then begin doing the work and begin doing this difficult challenge. And it takes a very brave person to do that. Right? It either takes a very brave and courageous person who kind of has it all in order to make those shifts and risk losing what they think they have. For those that are at the bottom of the barrel that have nothing to lose, it's a different kind of bravery. It's a different kind of a shift. Okay? Somewhat of a different journey. But I think it, again, scares people for different reasons. So can we look at that fear? Can we look at what that is yet? Now let's talk about what this Ace of Flamingos is a little bit more. And then we can pull into the next one. This is Ace. Ace is one's beginnings, a great effort leading to an overwhelming victory. It's going to take a great effort. It's going to take a lot of work. And the results that pop out on the other side of it, I mean, it can be very overwhelming. Oftentimes what's best for us, or what's in our highest good, is something beyond what we can even imagine for ourselves. And that can be very overwhelming for some people. Some people like to, again, keep it predictable. They like to be underwhelmed, perhaps, for this false sense of being in control. But say something catastrophic happens, and you're not going to be prepared, right? And then there's going to be divisive nature, and then you're going to, at one point or another, have to be forced to look at this, or kind of like face the resolve of it all, or the body is going to take over, and that aspect of consciousness at the end of life kind of gets lost, and then you have to, perhaps in the next lifetime, do it again, or something is recycled, or it's just, I don't know. How then do you become more conscious and more creative of what it is that you're doing, and becoming aware of the impacts that you're doing within your business? And I don't know that a lot of people want to do that. They want to get really self-focused and self-centered on what they have. And it's not to say that those things are going to be lost, but I think that there's a realization, or that aha moment of, does pilgrimage want to come to mind? Knight of Flamingos. Knight of Swords popped out over here too, didn't it? Nope, that's Knight of Cups. Everybody scratch that. Strength, power, success, fertility, a conquest for the sake of conquest, excessive behavior, deep emotion, going deep, going into the depths, feeling things, right? The other side of it is complete disaster. Disaster again. So if you want to avoid disaster, get in touch with your emotional sides. Go deep into the emotional body, right? To be able to navigate through this disaster. Because if you stay on this shallow surface level, disaster will strike. Something is going to happen that's going to confront you with this. And then you'll have an opportunity of, well, do I want to go deep, or do I want to stay in the shallow waters? There's a prize in the depths, you know, but you got to get there, and it takes work. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be that easy, immediate payoff, or what's the word I'm looking for? Not like immediate reinforcement. We're talking about delayed reinforcement here. And delayed reinforcement is a great way of strengthening and establishing healthy behaviors. It's discipline and self-discipline. And self-discipline is super important when it comes to shifting things internally. That internal shift into your alignment, that's work that you have to do that nobody else can do for you. I can give you all the tools, I can give you the space, I can give you all the information, you know, put the water right in front of you, but if you're not drinking it, and if you're not taking it in, if you're not doing the work, I can't do that work for you. You know, like I'm not responsible for your emotions. And I can guarantee you in this reading, especially the people that are watching are having different emotional reactions to it. Okay? So there's catalyzing this emotional response within you, and whatever that emotional response is within you is yours and for you to navigate, and it's your responsibility to deal with. Do I want to say deal with? Maybe. Navigate. Control, take accountability for. It's like we can put the same cup of coffee in front of somebody, and somebody's gonna be like, oh yes, oh coffee, thank you so much. Or we can put this cup of coffee in front of somebody and they're like, oh gross, ew, coffee's nasty. Or we can put this coffee in front of somebody and they're gonna be like, I don't know if that coffee's good enough for me. Is it the best of the best coffee? Well then I don't know. You know, so again, back to the problem is external. It's not internal, okay? These problems and issues that are external to the individuals are not something that we need to like shove down somebody's throat or like shove into somebody to make somebody else the problem. Okay. This is also the ironic part of it. There are people out there who intentionally try to cause problems for you. And that in and of itself is a problem. So like getting to the heart of the matter, like what's the function? What's the function? What's the purpose? If somebody is just there to trying to create problems for you or trying to make you the problem or trying to scapegoat you, like get out. Don't engage. You know, shift that narrative. Transcend that conflict. Transcend that disaster and that battle. And do better. What is it? Do be have? Do be have better? Be do have? Do be have? That order is kind of important. Order of importance. Okay, let's kind of wrap this up here a little bit, because I gotta go get my little guy. Tyranny and embarrassment. If you have somebody who's trying to purposely embarrass you, if you're trying to purposely embarrass somebody else, and put somebody to shame, or somebody's trying to put you to shame, maybe this is how we address it or how we navigate it, right? We go forward. And it's like fighting for peace. Peace for fight. The irony, again. This could be even something about, like, needing more iron. Needing to have more iron in your blood. Needing an iron supplement. Might help to stabilize things a little bit more, or electrically align you through these emotional, energetic exchanges. It's metal, it's conducive, it's a conductor in a way, right? I don't know if there's anything else to say about that one yet. Please reach out to me for personal readings. Rushing without fear into the unknown, bloodlust comes to mind. This card magnifies other cards dealing with death. With cards of wisdom indicates foolishness, war, opposition, heroism. Rushing into danger, dispute over a person of the opposite sex, naivety, physical, mental, or spiritual incapacity. These are all like these minor frequencies, lower vibrational frequencies. This is like the battle of the sexes. This is making it you versus me, he versus she, this versus that, women are that, men are this. Like we're not doing that here. We're not going into this battle mode where we're trying to destroy people and bring people down and make people feel like crap because we feel like crap. We're not doing that here. Okay? We're in this space where we are in self-love, in self-acceptance, and we are doing the work and we are doing the journey and we are holding space for other people to transcend these difficulties in this battle and this war, and so we can go into a state of peace. You know, otherwise this is like, was it the hockey player? The female hockey player, it's in the news, the female hockey player's ex-boyfriend admitted to murdering her. You know, like how many women get murdered over jealousy? How many women are, especially in indigenous cultures, indigenous tribes, taken and murdered and pillaged for that bloodlust? Ugh. It's kind of scary, isn't it? Yeah, see? That's that devil energy. Kick that naughty out. It's kind of the second time this popped up. I'm going to just look to see if there's anything in here that is worth mentioning. And then we'll pull a couple out of this oracle deck. And then I got to shift gears. Shift my gears and go into mommy mode. I love being a mom. It's the best. I love it. I would do anything for that kid. It's pure evil. We're fighting evil. She's got a sword to battle the evil. So it's important, right, to be a warrior and to be able to fight off the evil, bad stuff when it happens. But we're not looking for war. We're not looking for battles. We're here to protect and to guard, right, our rights to self-expression and our rights to be ourselves. What is that, Fifth Amendment? You know, this is, not being derogatory, not being, I can't think of the word. The frightened hero is prepared to fight the monster with his vorpal blade. Jabberwocky is the story of a man overcoming a monster who has killed many people and terrorized the countryside. It illustrates the human hope that one day good will overcome evil for once and for all, okay? For all time. Subordination, ravaging at will, all that is evil, bondage, failure, inability to attain a goal, dependence to the point of ruin, violence and destruction, things that go bump in the night, bad temper with no humor unless malicious, unprincipled, strange experiences, temptation and controversy, all these things that are trying to keep us from freedom, bailing out of bad situations, receiving help. You know? It's hard to receive help from somebody who is trying to take your strength away, take your voice away, overcoming obstacles, spiritual understanding, beginning on the path to enlightenment. Yes, okay? We are shifting gears because we are beginning our path to enlightenment and overcoming these horrible, awful things that are going to happen, you know? People have been, striving for this for centuries, for a very, very long time. It's possible. It absolutely is possible. It's not like we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and the world is going to be that kind of a better place. But if we step in our power and we do the work and we stay in that just spirit, okay, and we be authentic and we get into this emotional alignment and emotional harmony, we can do this. We can be fine. You know, we have the world to navigate, but we have to harmonize ourselves and get back in alignment with Mother Nature and get back in alignment with these cycles of the earth. Okay. Let's see. Let's kind of shuffle through these. You know, we're done with the nonsense. We're not going to do this bullshit manipulation anymore, okay? We're going to talk sense. We're going to focus on the things that are important, that are right in front of us. This isn't about competition. This isn't about winning or losing. This is about overcoming the dark and being in the light and being our light bodies in our fullest, best expression. We are evolving into the Homo Luminous, the light body, where we can heal ourselves through consciousness, where we can tap into these superpowers, right? We can move things with our mind. We can have telepathic conversations. We can get beyond the limitations of our verbal language and get back into these shared images and being able to communicate through this expression in a way that is so much more fulfilling and holistic. Okay? Lead the way! Let's do 3 of them. Couple more minutes. Alright, by 12:30 I gotta turn it off and then get out the door. Okay, lead the way, be a leader, show others how it's done. You can help others. This is the demonstration, right? Lead by example. However, my shamanic teacher had told me none of us really is the example, right? But we can demonstrate how to do this. We can demonstrate, look, I've had emotions, I've had intense emotions, I've done the work, I did the healing, and I came out on top. Came out better than before. It's possible. It's not the end all, right? Clock time, pressure, and rush. That's me right now, right? But we can't keep putting this off. We can't keep putting this work off until tomorrow, until next time. Is this forget who you are? I kind of showed you forget who you are. Conditioning falls away. Memory no longer defines you. That might be important. Mortality, life is bright, life is brief, bright, beautiful, and yours to live. Okay, let's pick one intentionally. I said 3 and 5 are coming out. 5, right? I can't go into depth and detail with all of them, just because we are on a time crunch today. But I think the point is getting across here, which is what is most important. So if there's one more thing that we have to leave people here with today, if we're going to close off this, what is it? It's always tea time! Anytime is the right time. Eternity, endless moments, repetition. We can do this at any point in time. Okay? Yes, we are limited by our meat suit in this vessel, in this body, right? But we are also eternal beings. That is a theme that came up too. What happens to our energy when we pass away or when we transcend? Where can that go? It's eternal. That energy is never created or destroyed. It is transferred. It is transmuted, right? It is transcended, right? It has to do with evolving. It's this, I want to say genetic, planetary, spiraling orbit, because it's not like we just sit here like this around the sun, right? There's these models that show us that it's moving through time and space. It has this sequencing, genetic sequencing, coding, ladder, climbing. Okay, that resonates. I don't want to look at it always. It's always tea time because we looked at that last time. I don't know that I'm going to go into details about lead the way because I think that's pretty obvious, right? Stand in your authenticity, show others how it's done. Like, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. You know, if you don't want somebody cheating on you and doing shitty things and going behind your back to, you know, undermine your success, and don't do it to other people. Okay? Karma comes back around. That energy is repetitious, right? And eventually it'll cycle back around into you, and then you gotta work through that and navigate through that later. Let's look at clock time. It's 14. 14 also reduces to a 5. This one is 41, also reduces to a 5. Okay, so this is a time to make a big shift. This is a time where things are either going from the material into the spiritual or the spiritual into the material, however that resonates for you, right? But again, with these timelines overlapping or all these things merging together, 5 is where these things merge together into wholeness, into a complete feeling, right? It's important, it's necessary, it's inevitable. Like, you can't stop it, you can't control it, so you might as well go with the flow, hey? But if you want to get people out of these, like, deep, dark waters, you know, swim to the shore, people will follow. Time, pressure, and a rush. Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting. Yes, yes it is. A time of stress and added workload. Increased responsibility. Feeling it is too late to pursue your dreams. Feeling pushed off to complete too many tasks. The inability to say no. Inefficient support. The urge to rush. This could be a time of dynamic opportunity, but you must take charge of your own workload and do what must be done. It is time for one last push. Okay? I know this is difficult. I know this is hard. I know this moon energy is fucking shitty. There's so much economically, politically, globally that is shifting and happening, and it feels overwhelming and burdensome, and there maybe isn't enough external support. But you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna push through, and we're gonna keep going. This needs to be done. Okay? This is a need that needs to be met. Which is interesting, because if we look at this in the opposite, refusing to meet a deadline, you're not meeting this need and you're refusing to do this work, I don't know how to help you. Okay? I don't know how anybody's going to help you. You have to figure out how to help yourself. Okay? And you figure out how to help yourself by reaching out and creating support systems and support networks and taking these vulnerable risks to reach out and ask questions. Okay, when you ask questions, you'll get the answers that you need. This is also feeling overwhelmed with responsibility, giving up on dreams, making no progress, being too slow, staying still when movement is needed. Movement needs to happen. This is the time where we need to take responsibility for our emotional well-being as a whole, as a collective. We need to take responsibility for our wellness as a species and fucking do the work. Hey, this is important. It's so, so important to be able to do the creative work, to evolve and to transcend into that. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck in this perpetual hell forever, and who wants to be there? Not me. Nope, I'm evolving. I'm transcending. I'm not doing this bullshit anymore. I'm not going to play into it. I'm not going to feed into this people who are like, oh, I don't have anything to give you. I'm just going to sit here and make you feel like shit, or try to make you feel like shit, but you can't. Okay, I'm not going to just give people that energy anymore. I can't do it. And I know I'm not the only one. Okay? I'm done. There's not enough time for this. You know, something is imminent. Something is pressing. These things need to start happening so that we have security for when kind of like the shit hits the fan, or like when like the system burns down and kind of the world starts going to shit and things start crumbling. We need to be prepared. Forget who you are, or who you think you are. Okay, conditioning falls away. Memory no longer defines you. You are not your past. You are not these shitty, horrible things that have happened to you. You are not these bad labels that people want to try and stick on to you. No. We're evolving and we're growing. We are the phoenix coming out of the ashes like this soft dough, okay? Forget who you are and understand that you are the universe expressing itself as insert your name here. Okay? What do you call yourself? The fawn said at last. Such a soft, sweet voice it had. I wish I knew, thought poor Alice. She answered rather sadly. Nothing just now. Think again, it said. That won't do. Alice thought, but nothing came of it. Please, would you tell me what you call yourself? She said timidly. I think that might help a little. I'll tell you, if you'll come a little further on. You gotta do the work. Like, these answers are gonna come, but you gotta keep going and push through that difficulty. Lean into it. It's gonna be tough, and it's gonna be hard, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna be so worth it at the end, okay? Please, please, please. The fawn said, I can't remember here. So they walked on together through the wood. You're not alone, please reach out. I am here to help and support you. I know it can be scary, but I am a non-judgmental person. I can help you through this. I got the skills, I got the tools, and I am here. Lights on, okay? Business sign, open. Open for business, okay? But I can't bring you here. You have to come to me, okay? I can't reach out and try to pull you in. This isn't fishing. I'm not fishing here, okay? But if you're hungry, the door's open. Come in and eat. For your soul. Feed your soul. Alice, with her arms clasped lovingly round the soft neck of the fawn, till they came out into another open field. Okay, we can do this together. You are not alone. If you are feeling alone, please, 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 please reach out to me. Okay? There's insight here. There's assistance and there's help, but you have to do the work. Okay? You are discovering what can happen when you rely less on conditioning, memory, and civilization. This is why it's important, again, to change the environment, change the people, shift up that conditioning, put yourself into something novel so you can have these novel, authentic responses, okay? Those conditioned patterns that are locking you into whatever thing you got yourself sucked into or stuck into, like, quit it! Quit it. Get out of the box. Please, please, please. Get out of the box. Please get out of the box. And more on heart. So, okay. Discover what happens when you rely more on heart, receptivity, nature. The same things, same themes. New friendships, connections, gentleness, and joy will be yours. Okay? But you have to take the risk. You have to do the work. Otherwise, if this is reversed, it's believing everything you have been told you are. If somebody tells you you're a bad, shitty person, you know what, go fuck yourself. Don't try and lock me into your box with you. Okay? I won't fit in there. You're not going to sit here and try and label me so it appeases your story. Okay? You don't get to define me. I don't get to define you. You are here to define yourself. You are the universe defining itself through whatever meat suit you're walking around in, okay? Defining self through labels, cultural programming, rules, and laws, missing out on beautiful, heart-opening opportunities connect due to conformity and rigid beliefs. Okay? We're not here to conform. We're here to evolve and to be ourselves. Life is bright, bright. Beautiful and yours to live. It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful world. There's so much beauty in these emotions and in these feelings and in these experiences. There's so much beauty in the dark. If you can shine light on these things that are hidden. But if you're going to try and conform and fit in and do things because everybody's always done it, that's what I always do, and that's the way I've always done it, and I'm just going to stay here in my box, then I don't know, evolution is not for you. But ironic enough, evolution is going to happen whether you want it to or not. I wonder what will happen next. Ready to adventure, precipice of change, pause before action, okay? Reflect. Be conscious. Do this work and reflect on where you're at. Take the opportunity before you go into this so that it's not just like some frivolous baloney that you're trying to whatever. Be prepared. I will redo this one, and then I do need to go. It's hard to keep these short. There's a lot of information to give and to transfer here and to transmute. And I'm doing my best to consolidate it the best that I can so that it's easy to absorb. I wonder what will happen next. Okay, open yourself up to the possibility that things are going to be better than you can ever imagine them. Your conditioning is your limited belief situations or your limited belief patterns, and it's going to prevent you from taking these risks because you're not being open to things being different. I know nothing, okay? I don't think you know it all. You're going to limit yourself. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank and of having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it. And what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversations? The telepathic thing, being, able to convey things through artwork. I mean, even if it's abstract, okay? A longing for excitement, wonder at what is meant to take place, someone who is comfortable but vaguely dissatisfied, be ready for a challenge and new experiences. It's fun. Otherwise, there's attachment to habit. If you're locked into stultifying sameness, comfort over adventure, lack of curiosity, satisfaction, remaining within the same world and repetitive, that's not fun. That's not going to get us anywhere. That's not going to do anything for us creatively. That's not going to do anything for the whole. So quit it! Let's go on this adventure. Let's figure out what is on the other side and explore the possibilities that can come from transformation. Conscious transformation, right? We're cultivating conscious, co-creative communities, co-creative culture. Cultivating consciousness. That's my whole spew. Okay, this is what we do. We are here to make people conscious of what it is that they're creating so that we can, superfly these, quantum leap through these possibilities of human potential, what humans can possibly do. I mean, it's phenomenal. For the tens of thousands of years that people have been walking around doing this human thing. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal what we are capable of doing if we open ourselves up to the possibilities. But you're getting so used to things being the way they are and people doing things for you and things becoming automated and, being unconscious, subconscious, tapping out, tuning out, falling into these addictive patterns and things and trying to I don't want to see anything dark and scary and uncomfortable and anything outside of my norm because it frightens me because I'm too scared to look at myself and make changes because all I want is stop it, okay? Is there anything else here? I don't think so. We're coming up on 1, 2, 3, 4. 12:34. Let's ground this out. Let's take a moment to become deviant. There's one last piece of information in here before I close this off. Almost all students of deviation have been concerned with the ways in which persons are joined with existing deviant phenomena or developing them anew. Causal explanation or ideology. Dominant question for students of deviant phenomena. Those focusing on let's see. Overwhelming stress on ideology. Maybe we can come back into this one in the next one, and we can talk more about competition. We can talk about competition and deviance, and we can talk about those sort of things and limiting belief systems. We're going into the weekend, so I don't know, let's shoot for Monday or Tuesday. If you have questions, please reach out. I can send you something remote. We can meet in person, however you want to do this. There's a lot of different ways that we can connect and do this work together. In my own research and my own exploration of this kind of stuff, I am very open to creative new ideas and open to ways of connecting with people that works for them. Anything else? Nope. All right. Thank you again for being in this space. I really love it. I appreciate all the support and all the love and encouragement that I do get in this space from the people who keep showing up. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You keep showing up. I'll keep showing up. We'll keep doing this work. We are in it to win it together. Okay, enough of that. Bye.